Kling AI is a powerful platform that makes creating videos, images, and audio simple, consistent, and professional. In this walkthrough, I'll guide you step by step so you can see exactly how it works. We'll start by setting up your account, then explore Omni for image and video generation. From there, I'll walk you through the Kling canvas, wherein you can refine and edit your creations with tools like motion control, grouping, and orientation adjustments. Next, we'll dive into creative effects, AI outfit try-on, and sound generation, all designed to give your projects more personality and polish. And finally, I'll break down the pricing plan, so if you'd want to maximize Kling with advanced features, you'll know exactly what's for you. Alright, so now to get started is that you want to use the link in the description to go here into the website of Kling AI easily. Also look out for some coupon codes in there because you could use that later on the checkout page to get the best price or deal possible. Now once you're here, you can now click here on sign in on the bottom left of your screen so that you'll be prompted here into the sign in page. In here, you can now use your Google, Apple, or your email to sign in here in Kling, depending on which one you prefer. Alright, so now once you're logged in, you will now be signed in here into Kling AI in the homepage, and you can now start using the features. And also, they are offering a free plan when you sign up, so you'd automatically get that, and you could move up to a paid plan if you'd want to use more of Kling AI, use more features, have more credits, and so on. So we'll be discussing the pricing plan later on this video at the end. For now, we'll just be exploring the features, explain on how each one works so you can understand and see if it's really worth buying here in Kling AI. So now first up is that we have the Explore section. So this is basically where the creative playground is, where you can discover and try out its different generation modes. You can go for image generation, video, motion control, Kling Canvas, Avatar 2.0. So basically these are shortcuts to this menu here on the left side or left menu. You could also find it right here. And then basically you could also see the showcase here on the capabilities on the platform on what it can create. So you can see some samples in here. You can create a similar one or an even better. So basically these are the samples. This would let you experiment with various inputs and see how Kling transforms them into video or image output. So basically, this is where you can test Kling's creative features directly. You can click or select the samples in here. Like for example, I'm interested in this one. You can click here on recreate, and then you'd be able to go into the generate, and then you'd have a prompt basically very similar to this one. And yeah, you can just make your edits in here so that you would get a very similar result. So you can also use the explore page to get some ideas if you have run out of ideas on what to create, or if there's something here that is interesting you, then you could definitely recreate that and basically achieve similar or greater result. And when you click on that, you'd be able also to see the comments in here on the people here on Kling AI, and you can see the details and basically the prompt in here. You could generate a video from this image, and you could also follow the creator and so on. Also, you have this menu here or filter at the top left where you can see the recommended, the follows. This is where you can see all the posts from your followed creators here in Kling and events here in Kling. And then you have some filters here in the recommended page, shorts, Omni, motion control, Kling 2.6, creatives, and so on. So yeah, you could use this to filter out your results here in the explore page so you can get more accurate the results. And then you could also search here in the search bar to be even more accurate. And next is that we have the assets. So this is a very simple feature. This is where you'd be able to see all the things that you have worked on here on Kling, like the images that you have uploaded, used on projects or generations that was already done. Processing, you could see that loading right here or being processed. You have these filters here at the top left. You can go for creatives, everything that you have uploaded, you have used as an element or whatever it is. And then image editing, Kling Canvas, principal assets, prompt assets, presets, So this is where you'd be able to see that. So yeah, it's very simple. This is where you can see everything that you have worked on here in Kling. Next up is that we have the Omni. So this refers to their all-in-one multi-model series, essentially the most advanced version of Kling's creative engine. You can see it here. Omni does it all. Input anything, understand everything, generate any vision. So basically all you have to do is to describe what you would want to be created in here. May it be video, image, or you can go for image to video transformation and so on right here. As you can see, you have two choices between video or image generation. And here in the video, you could also put out with audio in here if you would want. And then you could add some reference images or reference video in here so that you would be able to use those details to be incorporated in the result that you're trying to achieve. So yeah, this is a Kling right here. I mean a Kling Omni. So it's a very beginner-friendly feature for me because it is very generalistic. So you could just put out whatever you'd want to create right here, may it be with reference or without, and it will be able to understand your prompt and make a result very accurately. So in here, you can choose between video and image generation, and here in the video generation, you can choose if you'd want to go for elements type, you can go for image to video, transformation, and then we also have the video reference. Alright, so now first, let's discuss the elements mode here in video generation. I'm going to select elements, and from here, you can see that we can upload 1 to 7 reference images or elements to develop our story with a combination of characters, items, costumes, and scenes. So basically, upload all the image that you would want to be specifically included in the scene or in the result. So you can think of it as building blocks. You can create individual elements like character, object, or scene fragment, and then combine them into larger projects. So this is best for creators who would want modular control, designing reusable assets that can appear consistently across multiple video. And now in here is that we're going to choose a character first. So you can upload or create your own element right here by clicking here or character. Or you could also click here on all, and then you could select on the character presets here on Kling just for testing purposes. So I'm going to click here and this should appear. Now you can choose the character that you would want to use. So I see we have Armored Youth, Sarah, Blondie Lady, and we have the Assassin's Creed character right here. We have the Grumpy Kid, and many more right here. So you just simply would want to choose which you would want to go for. So let's say that I'm gonna go for the Grumpy Kid right here. So I have now selected that, and then you can see it right here. So it is now selected, and then it is also mentioned here in the prompt. So I'm gonna build out my prompt as I am adding my characters and elements. So I'm gonna go Grumpy Kid is wearing I'm just gonna go upload my sunglass first. So I'm gonna click here on image, and I'm gonna go for upload, and then basically just go for select it right here, and you could actually just go and drag the element just like this one. So you could drag it from your file manager just like this. So drop it here and it will now be added just like that. It's that easy. Now you can see that it is automatically mentioned in here, so that is why I suggested that you build your prompt as you work or upload your reference images right here, or your elements as they call it. And yeah, so basically Grumpy Kid is wearing the image, which is the sunglass, and actually there would be and carrying the bag. So I'm gonna go for drag it once again right here, which is the bag photo. So let me just drag it just like this one right here. There it is, and it will now be mentioned right there. So now just like that, and from here the next thing is that I'm not satisfied with the prompt. It's this just a simple prompt. And by the way, if you'd want to manually mention things or elements, then you could just go for the @ symbol right here. So basically shift plus the number 2 on your keyboard, and now you can choose the element right here that you could go and include or mention here. So choose one. I'm gonna go for image 2. right there. And then next is that you can go here for the model. So they only have one model here for video generation. Same goes for the image. So this is the latest one. And in here, you can choose the mode. You can go for 1080p or 720p. Of course, the higher, it means more credit spending, especially the duration right here. As you can see, I'm gonna go for 720 just for this one, and then I'm just gonna go for 30 since I'm saving credits. And the ratio here is that you could choose the aspect ratio of the result. You can go for portrait, square, or landscape. I'm gonna go for portrait. I'm gonna go for the output right here, number of outputs that you would want, or basically the variations from this result that will be generated with the settings. I'm gonna go for 1, so it would only cost 18. If you go for 2, that would be times 2, times 3, and then times 4. So take note of that so you can manage your credit spending wisely, as it is very important here in Kling. Alright, so now we are now done with all the settings in here. The next thing is that we can now click here on generate, and it will now submit the task, and generation is now in progress, and then you can see it right here. So you just have to wait for that. Alright, it is now done generating, and you can see it already that it is very accurate right here, and the video is just super good. As you can see, it is the grumpy kid right here, and it's wearing the sunglass that I have uploaded, and the bag right here. So also, one thing worth mentioning is that Omni doesn't support adding audio as of the moment. The only thing that you can do here is all about visuals, so you can create your video in here, but you can't add any audio. As you can see, I have tested it with Omni. I have instructed that the kid would basically walk towards the camera right here, which is the grandpa kid, same character that we did earlier, and says, "This is my power." But now when I play it, there is no sound coming out, and the lip is not even saying this. This is my power. So yeah, if you'd want to add some audio, you'd have to do it after you have generated the video here in Omni. Alright, so now next mode that we'll be discussing would be the image to video. So right here, we now have the option to go for the start frame and end frame. So in here, I'm going to upload my start frame in here. I'm going to go for upload, and I'm going to go for this one, which is basically a picture of Zoro right there. And also, I'm going to add it into the end. So basically the same thing, because I would want it to be in a loop. So the same start and end, so that it would be resulting into a loop effect. You could also go for a different end point right here if that's what you want, depending on how you'd want to do this. But as for me, I'm going to go with this one. I'm attempting to do a loop. So now I'll put the prompt. So basically, I'm just going to go for the glow in the eyes is moving out. And I'm going to go for put a smooth handheld effect on the subject. Make sure to make it loop, and make the start point and end point exactly the same frame, just like that. And now from here, we can now go for the settings here once again. So depending on what you'd want, I'm going to go for 3 seconds. I think that's enough for this. And I'm going to go for auto right here. So the others are not available because we are in image to video. And then the number of outputs that you'd want. And that's it. I think I'm done with every setting. I'm going to click here on generate. And there it is. Task has now been submitted. Generation in progress. And now, here is the result. As you can see, it is really cool. We have this glowing effect right here that is coming out or moving out. As you can see, I have indicated in the prompt. And a handheld effect to the subject. As you can see, it is slightly moving. It is a handheld, but very smooth. So just the result that I have expected. And it is definitely on loop. As you can see, it's never ending. It keeps repeating right here, and it shows no cut right there. It is not so noticeable. So yeah, this is basically one of the great examples that you can do with image to video, which is basically making a loop But it's not just that, you'd be able to control the start frame and end frame so you exactly know how the video would start and end. Alright, so now next up is that we have the transformation mode in video generation. So in here, we can now add our video right here that we would want to transform. So I'm gonna go for the video right here. You can click on upload if you'd want to select from your storage, but in my case, I'll just drag it here so that it would be easier. So basically, I'm going to be using this video right here that we have created earlier as an example. So yeah, and since I only have this one right here, I don't need to mention things. And you could also add image, by the way, if you would want to incorporate some image into the video, use it to transform something or whatsoever, you could always add an image here. And take note that this is only available for 3 to 10 seconds of video. And basically, what I'm going to be transforming in this video is that I'm going to go for change the glow in the eyes to red. And I'm going to go for change the change the hair color to blue. Let's see if it would be quite accurate. And now I'm gonna go for this one, check the settings in here, everything looks good. Now I'm ready to generate. I'm gonna click here and let's see and wait for the result. And now here is the result. As you can see, the hair is now changed into color blue, and then we have some glow here on the eyes, which is red, but this one is not changed right here, so I'm not quite satisfied with that. But I think we can do the prompt better so that it would actually understand to make this red also. So if you need help regarding your prompt, I suggest you use ChatGPT in building your prompt. So basically, you tell your prompt to ChatGPT first, and then ChatGPT would construct it better so that Kling AI here would be able to understand your prompt better. So you could also do that method if you are not yet accustomed on how you could build a prompt. And basically, yeah, that is basically for the transformation. You could transform your videos here using this feature on Kling. Alright, so now next is that we have the video reference mode. So in here, once again, is that we can now upload a reference video in here and image if there are some additional image that you'd want to incorporate for your prompt. So basically with this feature, this is letting you use a reference video as a guide for motion, pacing, or composition. This is similar to transformation that we did earlier, but instead of just altering style, it could actually mimic your reference video. So this is best for creators who want to mimic a specific cinematic style, replicate camera movements, and many more. So now I'm going to go and upload my video in here. So I'm just going to go and drag my video here. And then same for the image. I'm going to go and upload it by clicking here and upload. And now I'm just going to go for the image right here. So let's see. I'm going to go for this one. Click and open. And from here, I'm going to now build my prompt. I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to go for make at image move. And basically, I'm going to go for copy at video subject movements and camera movements, and basically I think I'm just gonna go for copy the at video subject and camera movements, then apply it to at image, just like this one. I think this one is fine. And from here you can see the duration of the video. Let's go for 3 so that we can save credit, and then you can go for the ratio right here. I'm gonna go for this one, for example, and output 1, and I'm gonna go for generate now. And now here is the result. As you can see, basically the reference video subject was swapped with the image in here. And just for reference, let me play the reference video for you. So this is the original version. As you can see, it is like this. And yeah, now here's the result from Kling AI with our image replacing the subject on the video. So now let's play it. And as you can see, the camera movement and the subject movement is being copied in here, very similar. And this is exactly what we have written on our prompt. So yeah, a good job for the video reference mode in here. I'm really satisfied with the result. And I think it could just be done better on cutting. There are some jagged edges, but still it's looking fine, so I really like it. And now next is that we have the image generation here in Omni, and we can now go for an image right here as a reference. You can also go for elements if you would want. Same goes for the video. So for this example, I'm just going to use one of these elements. I'm going to click here on all and choose the element that I would want to use. I'm going to go for, I want this rifle right here. And then I'm going to choose my subject. Let's see who's going to carry the rifle. I think it would be interesting if I'm going to make Granny pick up the rifle right here. So basically how I'm gonna do this is that I'm gonna go for at hip hop granny carries is aiming the rifle. So I'm gonna mention it right here, there. And now is that I'm gonna go for at the camera, just like that. So I think this simple prompt is enough for my idea. So let's see on what it would do. And then here we only have one image model right here for image generation. And then here you can choose the settings for image. You can go for 1K or 2K quality, which is HD, and then the aspect ratio and the number of outputs. So I'm just going to go for 2, for example, and I'm going to go for portrait. And I'm going to click here on generate, and let's see what it got for us. Alright, here are the results, and as you can see, they look really great. Here we have our character, which is Hip Hop Granny, and we have the rifle, which is the item, and it's aiming straight at the camera, which is this one. So yeah, I'm very satisfied with the result in here, exactly what I have expected. So that's basically the image generation feature here in Omni. You can try as many as you want as long as you have credits and test out as creative as you can. So yeah, that's how you can use Omni here with the video and image. Alright, so now that we are done with Omni, let's now move on into the Generate tab. So in here, you could already see that we have image generation once again. So it's a similar feature here in Omni, but here in Omni is more of a general method type. So if you prefer that, you can go here with Omni. And you could also notice that they use different models. So here, the AI model for image generation here under Generate tab would be image 2.1. And here in Omni would be image 01. Basically, what you need to remember here is that they are very similar on the quality that they provide based on my experience. So unless you need super specific details, then that might be the time that you would want to consider on which model that you would want to use. Because if you don't require so much specific details, then you can just choose either one and it would still be able to deliver quality outputs based on the prompt and settings that you have provided. So yeah, these are two separate models, but I think they are both very good, and whichever you have used will be able to give you a good result. So in here, you can also consider that here in the Generate tab on under image generation is that we have 3 options in here. We have Restyle, Single Reference, and Elements. Compared to Omni, where you can just go here and upload 1 to 10 reference images to add, delete, modify, blend, or stylize. So basically, here in Omni, it's more like all-in-one. Here in Generate, you can be more specific on how you'd want to do this. So yeah, that's it. And then we could also just go for the restyle first, and I'm gonna upload my photo in here. Actually, I'm just gonna use this photo in here, and I'm gonna restyle this photo. So I'll just drag the photo in here so that I'd be able to upload this as my reference. And now from here, enter the prompt for restyle. So let's say that I would want to restyle it into a Ghibli art style, something like that. And then you could go here into restyle library. You could be able to see some suggested restyles that you could use to restyle this specific reference image that we have uploaded. So you can see we have photography, teal and orange, knit fabric, glass, and many more right here. So you can see their presets. So these are more effective. If you can find one right here that is exactly what you want, you can just select this right here instead of manually putting it in here, because this would be more effective as this is already set to be understood by the Kling AI seamlessly. As you can see, when I click on the presets right here, it would now be tagged right here. And you could also go for this drop down and you can choose this or change into something like this. But basically, yeah, that's how you do it. And I just want to go for a Ghibli art style right here, just for this example right here. So I'm just gonna stick with this, and I'm not gonna choose this one because the Ghibli art style, I didn't find it right here, so I guess it's not available. I'm just gonna go and put it right here. And you can also basically save this preset right here that you have used, so that you can just view it on the assets and then you can use it anytime. And basically you can see that right here being saved. So when you click on this, as you can see, we now have it right here, this exact restyle prompt. And then we also have this button right here. So when you click on that, you'd be able to go for DeepSeek R1. So basically what this would do is that it would suggest you some prompts based on what you have typed right here or put. And basically it would restructure it and make it better so that you'd be able to build it better and make the AI understand your prompt better, leading to better results. And in here, you can click on use images and then it will now transform your prompt. As you can see, it is now much better. Transform this image into Ghibli, and it is now here on the drop down. So I guess it is in the presets. Maybe I just didn't see it, but yeah, it's here. So Ghibli art style, and with pastel colors, whimsical details, and a magical atmosphere. So yeah, our prompt is now better. Now we're ready to proceed. Is that we're gonna click here, and then you could select the number of outputs because this would also affect the number of credits or the amount of credits that you'll be spending. I'm just gonna go for 1, so it would only cost me 2 credits for this generation. And I'm gonna click here on generate, and let's see on how the Kling AI would stylize our image. Alright, so now here's the result. We now have our image restyled into the Ghibli art style right here, and I think it's pretty good and I'm quite satisfied with it. And now when you click on the image, you'll now be prompted in here where you can rename the image right here. You could also go here to like or dislike if you don't like the result. You could share. You could even download it right here. Download images or download the before and after template with watermark or without. You could go and enable that right here. And you could also delete if you don't want it anymore. You could also create an Omni wherein you could use this as a reference. Go into InPaint and some other features right here. So yeah, this is your shortcuts in here if you'd want to use this and use it in other features. You could even upscale it right here. So this one is a very good feature right here that I think that you should do if you'd want to get more quality out of your image. And next is that we have the single reference. And from here, you want to make sure that you understand this notice or instructions for using the image reference. And once you've done that, you can click here on agree. And from here, you can now go here, and basically you would now have the image right here. So we'll be using the same image right here. You can also delete that if you don't want to. You can click here and delete button. But yeah, again, I'm gonna use the same image, so I'm just gonna go and drag it right here again. And in here, you can go for please refer to the character features or the appearance features. So the difference is that the character features is more on facial features, hairstyle, clothing, and other traits, where the appearance reference is more focused or heavily focused on just the facial features. So that's how you would want to select between the two of them. So as for me, I'm gonna go for character features because I would want to go for also the details of the whole character itself. I'm gonna go here, and in here we can now go for the prompt. So now I'm gonna go for another one because this is not for single reference, and I'm gonna go for make the character a male male version, and then I'm gonna go for change the clothes color into, let's say, blue right there. And from here we can use DeepSeek once again to make our prompt better. And then it's now analyzing the prompt, and it should give us our prompt right here, and it has given us 3 suggestions, so you can just choose which one you would want. So here we have a middle-aged man with fair skin wearing a black bandana and glasses, dressed in a blue jumpsuit, and so on. So yeah, you could choose one. So I'm just gonna choose randomly. I'm gonna go for the middle one, click on use images, and in here we now have it just like this. So this is a vivid art style right here. Blue prison style jumpsuit strikes a powerful stance, and so on. So next is that once you're satisfied with your prompt, you can now proceed here and make sure that we have the image ratio and number of outputs correct. So as for the image ratio, I'm just gonna stick here to portrait and number of outputs to 1. Once you're ready, click on generate, and it should now be processed. Alright, so now here is the result, and from here I think the character is still female right here. The face still looks very female to me. Yeah, so I didn't like that part. It was not accurate in that, but it has successfully changed the color of the suit as indicated here on the prompt. And the camera zooms in slightly to capture the black rimmed glasses and intense gaze. So it's gazing at the camera and so on. So yeah, the only issue that I have in here would be the hair and then the face right here, because I think this is still a female version. So yeah, this is basically the single reference feature. It would just take the details out of the reference image that you have provided depending on the reference type that you have chosen. And now next is that we have the elements mode. So as for this one, we would need to upload at least 2 elements. So in here we can go for subject, scene, and style. So as for this one, I'm just gonna go for a subject right here. I'm gonna select a subject, I'm gonna upload it. So I'm just gonna choose one right here. So I'm gonna choose this subject right here, or actually this one right here, and click on open. And now it's analyzing and uploading the subject. And now you just need to frame it, make sure that it captures the subject perfectly. Click and confirm once done. Here on the scene, I'm gonna upload a scene right here, and actually I'm just gonna go and drag it so that it would be easier. So here it is now analyzing it, and there it is. There's my scene, and I basically just want to put my subject in here. And then you could also drop the style in here if you'd want, but in my case I don't want to because I don't really need it. So yeah, now I'm just gonna go and proceed to the prompt. So I'm gonna go for put the, or actually make the subject sit on the white chair on the background. I'm gonna go for I see that this doesn't allow you to mention the elements that you're using in here, unlike in Omni. So I'm gonna go for make the subject sit on the white chair on the background, or background image that was provided in the scene. And actually this is basically it right here. That's all that I would want to happen. And yeah, it's a very simple, very direct, but very specific. Next is that you want to go here and make sure that you select the image ratio that you'd want. I'm just gonna go stick with this one, and number of outputs I'm gonna go into 1. And from here I'm gonna click here on generate, and let's see what it got for us. All right, so now here is the result, and as you can see, it's not very accurate. And this is a similar background, but not exactly the same thing. Most of the details are gone, the table are gone, which is a very important thing. Also, the laptop and the coffee, the phone, and so on. So yeah, I'm not really satisfied with this because it's a different scene now. I don't have the table anymore. Same goes for this one. I did two of them. This one I even included. Make sure not to change anything else. Just simply insert the subject sitting in the white chair in the scene image. But this is what was provided. So I'm not quite satisfied. But you can go with Omni if you would want to be more specific, or you would want more adherence to the prompt that you have provided. Because here, when I go for Omni, I got this result, which is so much better, so much more accurate to the scene image that I have provided in here. And this is the prompt that I used, very similar to the generate prompt that I have used in here. It's just that I just used some mentioning here of the elements that I was using. So basically the bottom line in here is that if you want more accurate details or adherence to your prompt, you should use Omni compared to Generate, because this is much more suited to getting consistent results or consistent accuracy with the image or reference image that you have provided, because you'd be able to use some mentioning here of the elements compared to Generate, or you wouldn't be able to do that right here. As you can see, there is nothing that would be shown. So that's it. Alright, so now next is that we have the video generation. So in here, you can now select from multiple choices here on what AI model to use. So the advantage of this is that this would give you flexibility. One model may be faster, another more cinematic, so you can pick based on your project's needs. And if you go here for 2.6, you won't have the sound effects option, but you do have the voices in here, which you could use for narration. We have the video 2.5, wherein you have the sound effects right here, but we don't have the voices, so you can choose which one you would need for your video right here. So for this example, I'm just gonna go with 2.5 turbo. So just make sure to choose the model right here that you want, so you can test each one out so that you'd be able to understand it better. And in here is that we can now add the start and end frames here to get started with our prompt. I'm gonna go and upload mine right here, and I'm just gonna go and select it from here. So let's see, I'm gonna go for this one right here. So here's my AI character that I have just uploaded. And then here is the start frame, and we could also add an end frame, but this one is just optional. And I'm not gonna add one for this example. And I'm gonna add in my prompt. So basically, I just want to, I want to go for the subject. Make the subject wave at the camera and wink, and then let's say that wave at the camera, and actually I'm gonna go and make it better. I'm gonna go for make the subject wave and wink at the camera, then stand up to wave goodbye, something like that. So in here is that you could also use DeepSeek now to make your prompt better. If you don't think that this one is quite good, it's now gonna analyze it, and it will now make it better for the AI to understand our prompt easier. So in here, this is a more specific prompt out of this prompt that we have made right here. So a woman in a white Japanese tank top, and pink skirt, and so on, medium shot, full body view. Actually, I would want this one right here. So I'm gonna go and use this by clicking here on this prompt, and it will now be pasted in here. So that's what I want. And I'm gonna go and remove that. I'm just gonna go for this one. There it is. And you could also go and delete this if you would want to reset, or you could also go for inspiration and presets right here if you'd want to make your prompt better. You have the classic camera movements and so on. You also can save this as a preset if you'd want. And in here you can enable sound effects if you'd want to add that. So here you could integrate with sounds. Here we have the footsteps. And as for this one, I'm just going to go for background noise right there. And then I'm going to go for music. I'm not going to add anything. You could also go for ASMR if you think that's appropriate for your video. For me, this is enough. And here you can now go for the settings of your video. You can go for 1080p 720, but as for this model, 720p is also an option, so I can select that to make the credit spending less. And then length, right here, I'm gonna go for 5 seconds. Number output is 1, and that's it. Now I'm gonna click here on generate, and let's see what it got for us. All right, so now here is the result. Let's play it. So there it is. There's some sound effect, background noise, as I have indicated in the prompt. And the character even said hello at the beginning, which I really like. Though the only thing that I didn't like was the wink at the end. It wasn't really like the wink that was expected. The subject just closed its eyes. So yeah, overall, I think I'm satisfied with this. And if you want, you could also create this in Omni if you'd want to edit it more or recreate this. You could go for a lip sync right here. So you would be able to add some dialogue into it right here. So as you can see, when you click on lip sync, you will now be prompted in here into this editor. So now in here, you could see your character. And then you have text to speech if you'd want to do this here with the settings, or upload local dubbing, like you want to upload your voice recording file in here. You could click here and upload it. So in here is that I'm just going to go and input the text you'd like the character to say. So I would want the character to say, hi, this is the sample voice. And then you can now choose here in the voices that you'd want. So we have a female character, so we would choose a female voice in here. So we could preview by clicking here on the play button. So let's play it.
Hi, this is the sample voice.
I do not like that. Let's go for Mary.
Hi, this is the sample voice.
Let's go for Emma.
Hi, this is the sample voice.
I think that's much better, but I think I'm just going to go for another one. Let's say Nicole.
Hi, this is the sample voice.
And we have Ashley.
Hi, this is the sample voice.
I think this one is the best suited for this character in here, so I'm just going to choose Ashley. And next is that you have the speech rate. So this is basically the speed of the speech in here on how fast you would want your character to speak. And in the emotion in here, you have neutral, happy, angry, sad, and so on that you would want. I'm just going to go for neutral. And from here is that I'm going to click here on add to speech once everything is now good. Click here. And then you should now be able to see that right here. So I'm now going to play it.
Hi, this is the sample voice.
So there you have the sound already. And now from here, you can click on generate. And from here is that it is now generating, which is in progress. So we would have to wait again. And now here is the result.
Hi, this is the sample voice.
So as you can see, the lip sync is now on spot.
Hi, this is the sample voice.
The audio or the dialogue.
Hi.
So yeah, that's the lip sync feature here that you could add into your videos here in Kling. Now we also have this option right here, which is the extract frame. You can click on that. And from here, you would now be able to select a frame here on a video wherein you would want to extract it or start from there. Let's say that I would want to start from here where the character is waving. I'm going to click here on capture and it will now be uploaded in here as a start frame on video generation. So this is a good way for you to start from that specific part of the video if you would want to change it from there. So yeah, you could just do it right here. So now you have added a start frame, and then from here you can now describe your prompt right here, and in video basically the same thing as we did earlier when generating the video right here. And then once you're done, click on generate, and that's it. That's how you can extract the frame. Alright, we are now done with video generation. Now let's go into motion control. And in here, we only have one AI model to choose from. And now in here, we can add a video of our character actions to mimic. So this would be the reference movements that you will be copying and applying to the character image that you will be uploading right here. So now I'm going to go here and click here and basically upload my motion. So I'm just going to go and choose this motion right here. And then I'm going to add the character image. So let's say that I would want to use Granny, which is this one right there. So now I have my reference movement video and then my character image. And from here, I just need to type out a prompt on what the video would result in. All right, so fast forward is that I have already generated a video in here. And one important thing that you should set is the character orientation matches video. So this would be the alignment towards your character's pose, facing direction and movements. It will be aligned here in the reference video. This is useful if you would want your generated character to mimic the exact motion that you have here on your reference video. And we also have the character orientation matches image. So this one, on the other hand, is locked to the original input image that you have provided. The system will animate motion while keeping the character facing the same way as in the image. So basically, the matches video means prioritizes motion realism by syncing orientation with the video reference. So it would take most of the details from the video reference itself, while matches image would prioritize visual consistency, and it will just take the motion, only the motion, from the reference video. And now I have chosen this one, and this was the result. Although in my prompt, I did specifically say to replace the subject in the reference video with the characters, so basically just swapping them, but it is not applicable here in motion control because it is not a feature. All it does is for motion only. So here's the result right here, which is really good and it's really accurate with the motion right here, even though this shot is not a whole body shot. So I'm gonna expand this so you could see better. So this is how it would look like from the reference video, and this was the result, which is scary good. As you can see, it's copied really well, even the movements in the legs. So that's motion control. Alright, so now next is the avatar. So in here, you can now create your own avatar here in Kling. So first is that you have this options in here. So you have the avatar library or AI image. You could also upload your own image of your avatar if you have that, if that's what you prefer. So for this example, we'll just be going with avatar library. But I'm going to show you on what you could do if you choose AI image. You can click on that. And from here, you can select the gender, the age, the skin tone, and then describe the characteristics. Like for example, you would want it to be in the vampire style or a demonic skin. Then you could basically just put it in here. And then after that is you could go for the aspect ratio in here and click on generate, and it will now generate the avatar based on your prompt in here. But as for this video, we'll just be going for this in the avatar library because these are already well made. So for this example, I am gonna go for, I think this one right here, Anna. So by the way, when you hover your cursor over the avatars in here, you'd also be able to hear the voice. For example,
"Hi, I'm your barista today. Would you like a hot chocolate or..."
So that's it. So you could also test out the voice so that you would be able to see if you'd want to change it or if you just want to stay as it is, if it looks already good for you.
Good morning. It's alright, guys.
Meow. Hey, humans.
Just landed in NYC for
Hey, guys.
So now I'm just going to go for Anna. I'm going to click
Just
here.
landed in.
There it is. I have now clicked on it and I have now selected Anna. Next is the speech on what you would like Anna to say. So I'm going to go for, "Hey guys, I hope you learned a lot from this Kling video. Thank you for your support." Something like that. And then from here, you can also sample different voices to learn the accurate speech. So you can click here And basically, you can go for speech rate, which is the speed on how fast you would want your character to speak. You have your emotion here also, so you could also choose from one of these emotions. And then next is that we have the avatar prompt, which is optional. So as you can see here, um, this is already filled up because I have chosen this from the avatar library. But you could also go for your avatar prompt in here if you would want to, if there are some specific details that you would want to include in the video. So you want to put it right here. And then next is the options in here. You can go for 720 or 1080 at 30 FPS and the number of outputs. And then once you're satisfied with everything, you can now click here on generate. Alright, it is now done. And now we have our video result right here. So now let's play it.
Guys, I hope you learned a lot. Hey guys, I hope you learned a lot from this Kling video. Thank you for your support. Hey
And there
guys.
it is. As you can see, the video is very good. The audio is accurate, including the lip sync, so I'm really satisfied with the result here with the avatar video that we have just created. And from here, you can once again create this in Omni if you'd want, extract in frame, or even download it from here. Next, we'll be discussing the Kling canvas. So we can go here into canvas here in the left menu. And in here, you would now be able to go into Kling canvas itself. And from here, we can now get started by creating or putting a prompt in here on what we would like to create on the canvas. And you have some demos in here, and below is where you'd be able to see your past projects. So in here, you can just type out your prompt, and then after that, you could go and upload some reference images if needed, even videos, or select from assets, depending on which one you would want to add to include it into your canvas. And then you also have this ones right here. So these are different features that you'd be able to create here in Canvas. You can go for storyboard, like story creation. I'm gonna go for this one, for example. And as you can see, it would now fill up the prompt and some reference images right here. So please use this image of the female protagonist Luna as a reference to generate a set of scenes for me. So you could do it something like this. We have multi-angle storyboard and product visual generator. So you can just choose one on which one you would need based on the content that you're trying to create. As for this example, I'll just be using the product visual generator. And from here, I'm gonna go for, I think I'm just gonna go for perfume, for example. And then I'm gonna go here into model and make sure that you also select the correct model that you want. So you can select multiple in here, like I can select also Nano Banana Pro, Nano Banana, and some other AI models that you would want to use. Same goes for video. You could also select multiple ones right here. You could also go for auto mode if you just want AI to decide, then you can just enable this. Alright, I am now all set. Then now I can just click here so that it will now start creating my canvas, and we will now be prompted in here into the canvas editor. Alright, it is now done generating, and now we have our photos and videos in here. So basically, you could zoom in and out here in your canvas by holding out your control button and then your scroll wheel, just like that, so that you could see everything clearly. And then you could hold the space bar so that you'd be able to drag around and navigate throughout your canvas just like that. So those are the basic controls that you absolutely must know. And next is that the images here are already generated based on our reference image. So notice earlier on the prompt is that we have this one right here. It is mentioned. So basically, if you are selecting from one of these preset prompts right here, it is recommended, of course, is that you would want to change the reference images right here or video that you will be uploading. So for example, as for this one, I want to delete that. So I'm going to go click here and delete, and I can upload a new image, let's say another product. And I'm just going to choose a sample one, let's say this one right here. And there it is. It is now the reference image. And this is now what the AI will use to create on your canvas. So that's very important. And basically the same thing that would that you would need to do on the other presets right here. Alright, so now going back in here. So in here with the photos, we can select those photos, and from here we can now add to agent, which means it will now be prompted here on your prompt or added as a reference. So when you click on that, as you can see, it will now be mentioned in here. So you could also talk to the AI in here if there's some changes or some additions that you would want to happen on your canvas. So as you can see right here, there are some presets: add background sound effects to video, create social media promotional copy, generate a 9:16 video version, and so on. So for example, I'm just gonna go and select some of this photo right here. I'm gonna go for this one, for example, and I'm gonna go for add to agent. And now it is prompted in here in my prompt. And now I'm gonna go for create a video that would showcase the whole product body by making it spin 360 degrees on the platform, just like that. And then add zoom, smooth and slow zoom in effect, just like that. So now from here we can do it this way in creating a video from this image. So we're gonna go click here now on send a prompt right there, and you could also choose the model here, by the way, once again, if you'd want to use other models in creating your video. And now from here it is now thinking, so we just have to wait for that. And while we're waiting, I'm gonna explain the other method and how you'd be able to generate the video. Here is by clicking here once again, and you can go for video generation, and then you would now have this node. So notice that we could just reposition this, and then we also have this one right here. We could go here, and basically this is where you would be putting in your prompt, and then this is where you can see the settings. So you can go for the model, the mode, the parameters, audio, and creativity. This is how much it would cost, and it would generate the video for you. So basically the same thing as we did earlier with the image to video feature. It's basically very similar in here. You still have your prompt and your settings in here. You could also add reference images by connecting nodes. So for example, I'm gonna go for plus image right here. So you want to navigate your cursor here, you can go for plus image right here, and now you can add your image in here. You can click here on upload, and then you can just select the image that you would want. Let's say that I'm just gonna add a reference image on the person that I would want to see using the product. So I would want to incorporate this person, and this person is holding this perfume. So you could do that right here. You can just describe it on text and then generate as needed. And also you would have other options in here on the method and how you'd want to create your video. You have the elements, video reference. You could also do it like this if you'd want to go for a video instead as a reference instead of an image or text. So yeah, this is how you'd be able to generate your video in here. Those are your options depending on how you'd want to do it. All right, so now our video is now finished generating. So now let's play it and let's see if it's actually any good. So let's see, and there it is with this spinning 360 with some smooth slow zoom in. So yeah, I think this is quite good. So you can double click on that to open it right here or expand it, and now here we have it. And if you're satisfied with this, you could always download this if you would want without watermark. If you have the VIP subscription, you could see the prompt and so on in here. And from here on this video also is where you could go for video edit. And from here you would have a mini video editor. And from here you would have this simple timeline right here. So you can see that you can make cuts to your video or trim, just like this one right here. You could navigate your playhead and click on split if you'd want to make a cut just like that. And you have frame capture. So let's say that I'm gonna go and capture it right here. I'm gonna click here on frame capture. It is now captured and saved to canvas, just like that. So basically like a screenshot, and you have your undo and redo button in here. So that's it. Now let's go click here, add to canvas, and the changes will now be saved. Right there, we now have the video edit frame. This is the image or the capture frame that we, or frame capture that we did earlier. And this is the edited video clip. And you can also click here on video generation from this video. If you'd want to make this as a reference and create another video, you could just go for a node right here, and then you would have the text, image, or video reference right here, and your options, and then finally your prompt. And you also have the sound generation. So this doesn't have currently doesn't have any audio or sound. So in order to fix that, you could also go here for sound generation, and it will now create another node, which is this one right here, which is for audio. So video to audio, as you can see right there. And then from here, you can now describe the sound effects or audio that you would want to happen in the video. So in here, you can see the parameters. You can see 4 outputs and credit activity and so on. So I'm going to go for a simple and relaxing ambient music for perfumes. Maybe something like that. So very simple. I'm going to click here on generate. And let's see what it would get for us. So I'm just going to go and transfer it right here so it doesn't get too messy right here. And then as for this one, I'm going to go and drag it just like that. So you could basically also rearrange everything here on your canvas so that it would be organized as to your liking. So that's the beauty here in Canvas, because you can get everything that you are working on in one project, so that you could keep tabs on everything right here. You don't have to jump from video to video, image to image, just to edit each one. So in here, you can work on all of them, all in one big canvas. So now here we now have our audio generation result, and then we have the video to audio for results right here. So let's play the first one. So let me just turn on the sounds. So there it is. This one is more nature, watery, and some bird sounds. This one is very similar. This one has some animal sounds into it. So yeah, all of them are basically similar, but depending on which one you'd want, you can just choose one on which one you'd want to use. And again, you could click on this video, and then you could just use this features here on the menu. You could copy or download them right here if you would want to export them from your canvas. Next is that we'll just be going back here into the image, and then in here you could click on restyle. So in here you'd be able to create another node with that, and basically if you're not satisfied with this image, you could restyle it. So I'm gonna go and just drag it right here so that we don't get too messy. I'm gonna put it right here, there. And then from here is that you can now go and restyle it with just this default settings. But if you would want, you could also select the model, which is the only one right here, the parameters, how many outputs. I'm gonna go for 1, and then the style. So in here you could go for random, anime, and so on right here. So I think I'm gonna go for this one, building blocks or Lego. And you also have the text and image reference if you'd want to add that connected to your prompt. So that would create another node, as you can see right here. So you could also do it like this, but I don't really need that. I already have the style right here selected. So I'm just going to click here on generate, and let's see if restyle is actually any good. All right, it is now done, and we now have our restyled image right here with the building blocks style. So I think, yeah, it looks really good right here, and I'm satisfied with it. And from here I can now download it if needed. So I can just go and click on this result and click on download, and then it will now be downloaded. And now next is that you could also go for image generation from this image right here of your choosing. So what would basically happen is that you would have the image reference right here. So you could also change that if you would want. So you could go for elements, you could go for restyle, and some other options here like the video reference if you'd want to go for video. But I just want to go for image right here. So I'm going to go back into image reference. So this would be the reference image that I'll be using here. So I'm going to go for uh, um, make or edit the text to, let's say, best perfume. Just like that. And then from here is that you can choose the model. I'm gonna go for a more budget friendly model. So let's see, colors 1.5, so that would only cost me 2 credits. And yeah, I'm satisfied with my options now. I'm gonna click here on generate, and it will now generate me an image based on this prompt. And yeah, basically this is the gist that you just need to understand here in Canvas, so that you'd be able to use this effectively and work on all the things that is currently in your project. So you just need to create some nodes in here if you'd want to generate a video, audio, or an image. So let's wait for this, and here it is. We now have it. So as for this one, the text is not really that good. I think that's because we chose the cheaper model, but a Nano Banana Pro, but it's gonna cost 20 credits, which is so much better and much more accurate in text. So the AI model that you choose actually matters a lot in getting the result of the image. So make sure to choose wisely. And now next is that we have this menu here on the left. So you could basically manually add some nodes in here if you'd want. So you can hover here, and then you could go for text to image, image to image, images to image, or restyle. For example, image to image. And then we would now be able to create this node right here. So this is how you'd be able to do that if you'd want to do it from separately right here without using any of these elements in here. So this is now a separate node, and then you could now upload your image in here and your text, and then your settings in here. And then we also had the video generation, so basically the same thing as what we did right here. So you could also go for separate nodes right here for the features on video generation, like for example frames. You could do it right here, and then you could now once again drag it so that you could arrange them and be more organized. And then you could now go and delete the image, or delete right here. I'm gonna delete that and then add another image reference or image node right here, and then you can now add that, and then from here you could set your settings and your prompt. So very similar. And same goes for sound generation. You can go for text to audio, and once again organize it or arrange wherever you'd want to put it, and put in the prompt, and in the settings click on generate, and it will now generate you your output. Alright, so now next is that we have the group tool. So basically to use this is that you would need to highlight the elements, layers, nodes, or whatever you'd want to call it right here that you'd want to group. For example, this one. And from here, you could just right click and click on group, and then it will now be grouped just like that, so that you can now select several characters, objects, or layers, and make them one editable block. So you can move, resize, rotate, or apply filters to the whole group at once. So this would simplify your workflow, keeping your canvas tidy by reducing clutter when working with many layers. You could also click here if you would want, and then you'd be able to create a group from here, just like this one, an empty group, and then you can just drag nodes here to auto group. And we have the undo and redo button in case you make a mistake. And we also have this right here on the chat. So we can click here on new chat if you want to start a fresh new chat right here. You could click here on new chat and so on. And then you also have the history. And then if you want to collapse this, you could also do that and click here on agent once you're ready to go back. And yeah, you could just make your prompt in here or idea on whatever you'd want to create, and it will basically be created. So as for this one, this is quite expensive because I have used Nano Banana Kling. So make sure that you are mindful of the credit cost. So for example, I'm just gonna go for another one right here, just like that. And then I'm gonna go for the model right here. Let's say this one. And the only thing here is that you don't actually see the credit cost and how much it's gonna cost in here. So you would want to be careful when you are creating a video in here. As much as possible, it's recommended that you do it here on the node so that you'd be able to monitor how much credit it would cost in generating this specific content, image, or video so that you can monitor and keep your credits in budget. Alright, so now once you are done with your canvas, you can now just simply go back by clicking here. You could also rename your canvas here by the way. So now I'm gonna go back, and yeah, this is basically it on how you can use the Kling canvas. Alright, so now next is that we'll be exploring the other features or tools available on Kling. So you want to go back in here into the left menu and go into all tools, and this is where you can see all the other tools that we have yet to explore. And now in here under video generation, we have already done a couple of them. So we have already done text to video earlier, image to video, image reference, motion control. We have digital human, which is basically the avatar feature that we did earlier. And then we have the instruction transformation. So we have also already did this under video generation here in Omni on transformation mode. And we have already done a video reference. Creative effects is something that we haven't done yet, so we'll be doing this one right here. So it's a very simple feature. You just need to select an effect by clicking here, and then you would now have this menu, our library of effects that you could use. We have the 2026 fireworks right here, just like that. We have the color mixing, so as you hover your cursor on each effect, you'd be able to see a preview on what it would result in. And we have the 2025 frames, Xmas moment, perfect friends, and many more. So what I'm interested in right here is this one right here, Halloween look, because it looks so cool. And I'm gonna go and select that, but you could also go for others if you want. So there are a ton more that you can choose from right here. I'm just gonna go for the Halloween look. So where is it? Here it is. Click on that, and now you'd be able to see that it's now selected right here. So you'd be able to see some advice or notice right here on what it would work best. So this effect would use a single person image, and it would require this. And this one right here, you can add any image. Pet vlogger, add a pet image right here. Perfect friends, you can add an image, and so on. So make sure that you also pay attention to what is noted right here. And now I'm going to click here and add an image, and I'm going to add a single person image. So let me just browse it right here. So I want to use this one right here. So now there it is. It will now be uploaded in a bit, and then so now here's my subject right here, or the picture. So from here, the next thing is that you just simply need to click here on generate and let AI do the rest. It's now gonna go and make the video for you. Alright, so now we have the results. So now let's play it. It looks really cool. So there it is. As you can see, it looks really cool. I'm satisfied with that. And you can just choose another effect. If you don't like this one that much, then there's a ton more that you can choose from right here. But essentially, this is the creative effects. It's a very simple tool. You just need to upload an image that you would want to use as your subject. Then it would now do the rest for you. And now you have this amazing video. It's that simple. Next is that we have the lip sync, but we have already done that earlier in this video. So we're just going to go into custom model. So as for this one, is that it's basically very similar to the avatar feature that we have talked about earlier, but this one is more on consistency and accurate on the results on the character if you would want perfect depiction of the character each time you generate your video, so you could use this model every time. So basically in here, you train Kling with multiple images or a video of a character just like this one. You want to make sure that you refer to the guidelines here below and follow all of these guides. And then you just need to upload it right here. But the problem here in my case is that I only have the standard plan, and this is only available on the pro plan and up. So you would need to upgrade if you don't have the pro plan and up. But if you do have that, then you could do this, and then you would need to upload videos from different angles next, and then you just need to put in a name and train. So the more data, the better, and the more accurate and consistent Kling would be able to provide results for you. So this is another level compared to the avatar feature. Next, under image generation, we also have discussed almost all of them. We have text to image, image reference, and restyle. We have also talked about that earlier. We can just go here into generate, image generate, and you could go for restyle, or you could even do it in Omni. And then we also have InPaint right here. So you can click on that, and then you will now be prompted into the InPaint editor. So in here, you can upload your file. So you could go for JPEG or PNG files up to 10 megabytes with minimum dimensions of 300 pixels. So now I'm going to click here to open up my dialog box. So I'm going to go for an image right here. So let's say that I'm going to go for this thumbnail that I have made in a previous tutorial. And I'm going to use this as an example here in InPaint. So right here. So now we have InPaint, and now you can go and brush somewhere here in your picture on where you would want to make some changes. So for example, I'm gonna go for this one right here. I'm gonna go in that. So I have brushed this specific part, and from here you want to navigate down. And in here, you could see you have the tools in here. So you could use that to go and navigate between your image, quick selection, box selection, brush selection. So in this one, we have used the box selection, method right here. If you go for a quick, you can just click on the parts and it would quickly select it for you so that you don't have to brush it manually. So yeah, that's the quick selection. We have the box selection if you'd want to make a box, just like that. So now we have brushed this specific part with the box shape. And this one, brush selection, is the one that we did earlier. And eraser, if you would want to erase the brushed part right here. Just like that, as you can see, it is now erased. So from here, I'm just going to go back and just like that. Now we also have the inverse selection. So for example, I used quick selection and selected a part right here. For example, I'm gonna go and select the shirt. So right here, I have now selected the shirt, and now you can use inverse selection if you would want the selected part to be the rest of the image except for the one that you have selected. So that's the inverse selection right here. It's that simple. You could click on it again if you'd want to go back. And then we have the undo, redo button, and we have the clear if you'd want to clear every brushed part here on your image and go back to original. Now you can type in a prompt once you have selected something, and make sure to select the correct number of outputs that you would want, because the credit spending that you will be spending here in this InPaint session would highly depend on the number of outputs. So as you can see, it would be the multiplier. And then you also have this setting right here if you'd want to bump up the intensity of InPainting and let AI have more freedom in being creative with InPaint or edit right here, and not so strict on the prompt that you have put right here. So yeah, you can just click here and it will now process the image and give you the changes that you have instructed. And now while we're in here, we can go into the expand feature. So we can click here, and then basically what this does is that you just need to provide your image, and then you would have this expansion box right here. So you can expand it as much as you want, and then this is how much your image would expand right here. So let's say I'm gonna go for just like that. And yeah, you can make it custom. You could also go for this presets right here, ×3, ×2, or ×1.5. I'm gonna go for just 1.5 in here. And then now we can go for the formats. We can go for original, free, and some other aspect ratio presets in here. And now next is that you just need to go here into the prompt. So describe how you would like to expand. If empty, the result will be based on the original image. So I'm just going to go and make it empty because I just want it to be expanded and let AI decide on how it would expand. So I assume that it would just expand the background in here with nothing on it. And also this part right here, it would make the this person a much more whole. I'm gonna go for one only so that I could only spend 2 credits. So now I'm gonna click on expand, and now it's gonna start processing the image. Alright, so now it is now done, and as you can see, the image is now expanded, and this side of this person is now filled right here. So yeah, this is basically expand. It's a very simple feature, but very powerful as it can expand any image. And next is that we also have the remove feature here on the left menu. We can click on that, and basically we have the brush again. So you can now select which part of the image you would want to remove. So you have quick selection or brush selection, depending on what method you would want to brush or highlight the part you'd want to remove. Let's say that I'm gonna go for quick selection for a quick job. And from here, it's not currently selecting. I'm gonna go and select the monitor right here. As you can see, it is now transparent or removed. I'm gonna select this and select everything that I would want to remove, just like that. And I'm gonna remove this also, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and there it is. So you just need to click all of them, everything that you would want to remove. So I'm gonna go there, and also this one, and this, and that. And from here, you can go into one output, right here, and you can go for remove if you're satisfied with this. But you could refine it even further by going to brush selection, and then going into removing it right here on what is inside, so that it would be much cleaner, just like that. So now I'm gonna go and make it bigger, so that it would be easier to erase these things, just like that. So I'm gonna go and erase that. There it is. And just a little bit more now. And I'm gonna go for the stand. There it is. So now I'm gonna go here at the bottom and make sure that's scraped off. And now I'm gonna click here on remove. And now it will process the image with the removed background in here and fill in with something there. And now here is the result. As you can see, there's still some white cast outline on the subject or object that we have just removed. But you can make it better if you have given more time into refining your selection so that the AI would be able to remove it better. So yeah, what we did earlier was just a quick selection. That is why it is like this, but it should be better if you actually make a good selection here on remover. Alright, so now next, going back in here into all tools, is that we also have image expansion and remover, which we have already discussed previously. And next would be the virtual model. So this is another similar feature to the avatar and custom model that we did earlier. But for this one specifically, this is made to generate a fashion model that can wear and showcase clothing items. And basically the strengths here would be to build realistic try-on experiences from the name try-on, as you can see right here, showing how clothes fit or look on different body types. So in here, you can select the gender. I'm going to go for male. And age, I'm going to go for youth. And skin tone, I'm going to go for this one right here, which is fair one. And now here in the prompt, so you want to describe your creative idea for the image. So let's say that I'm gonna go for a young male wearing a black hoodie with a monkey logo on the front, something like that. And then from here, you can go here into the settings once again, or you could just go for DeepSeek first to refine your prompt. If that's what you'd like, if you like this prompt better, then you can just select that right here. Just simply click on the prompt that you would want to use. So I'm going to go for this one. I think this one is good. And then go here into settings, set your image ratio and number of outputs. I'm just going to go for 1. And image ratio is, I would want it to be portrait. just like that. And now I'm going to click here on generate. And just like that, we have now submitted a task, and it will now start building our AI virtual try-on model. Alright, so now here is the result. So as you can see, it is very good. And the prompt here is very accurate. As you can see, a young male standing confidently with hands in pocket. So you can see the confidence in the face and in the posture. Wearing a black hoodie, which is black, with a bold white monkey logo in the chest, and tousled ash brown haircut style. So yeah, this is it, and in full body view, and so on. So yeah, I think overall this is pretty good. The DeepSeek prompt builder really helped with this one right here. And now going back into all tools, we now have AI outfit. So in here, this is again the AI virtual try-on, and you could already see the ones that we have made earlier. So this is the one. You can go for virtual model default right here. So there are some presets that you can use as your model, and then you upload. So in here, I'm gonna go and use one of this preset model right here. I'm gonna use let's say this one right here. I'm gonna click that. And then you could go for single garments or multiple garments. So you can upload the top and bottom for multiple. I'm just going to go for a single garment in here. And then just upload a photo of the garment that you'd want to insert. So I would want this one right here. I'm going to click on upload. It's now uploaded. And now from here, we can just select here if this is a top, bottom, or dress or suit. So make sure to label correctly. And then go here into the settings of number of outputs. I'm just going to go for 1 and click here and generate, and it will now only cost me 5 credits. Alright, so now here's the result. As you can see, it is accurately depicted. Here's our product and our model, and now combined, we now have this result. And also from this result is that you'd be able to see the prompt, and you can generate a video from here. Use InPaint, expand, remove, or upscale, depending on which one you would want to use on this image. So that's AI outfit. And now next is that we have the sound generation here under all tools. So we have text to audio. We can click on that, and then we can now enter the prompt for our sound effects that we would want to create in here. So let's say creaking of the door. I'm gonna go for I would want to make it eerie, so I'm gonna go eerie creaking of the door, and just like that. And then you could also use DeepSeek for this one right here if you'd want to make your prompt better. And you have the door creaking, faint whispers echoing, rusty hinge. So just choose which one you want. I want this one right here, so I'm gonna click on that. And then is that you have the recommended sound effects in here. So basically when you hover your cursor over those, is that it would automatically play. So you could also preview those sound effects in there, and then you could also use that and download those by the way. But for this one, I'm just gonna go for this prompt, and now I'm gonna go here into the settings at the bottom left for 5 seconds, and then the outputs here would be 4 by automatic. So I'm gonna click here on generate now. Alright, so now here are the results. So let's play it. And now there's more. I think I like the third one the best. So you can download this right here and go for audio format, either MP3 or WAV. So you can choose which one you'd want. Let's say WAV. And from here, you can go click on down the audio only, and then you should now be able to download it on your device. So that's how you can use the text to audio. Alright, so next is that we're gonna go for video to audio now. In here, you can now add your video. I'm just gonna go for history right here because I just want to choose from my previous works. And I would want to create an audio for this one. I'm gonna click here and click on confirm. And now is that you can go for the sound prompt. So let's say that add a whoosh. I think I'm just gonna go for add fire sound effects on the palm on the transformation, something like that. And then you could also add some music in here. You just need to put out your prompt if you'd want, or you could also go for ASMR mode if you'd want immersive experiences with enhanced details. You could also use deep sync here, by the way, so that you'd be able to tailor the prompt. But I think I'm just gonna stick with this one right here. And I'm gonna go here into outputs. They are not customizable, so it would be 4 outputs by default. Now you can click here on generate, and it will now generate you your audio from your video. Alright, so now here are the results. So as you can see, we now have 4 results in here. And now let me play each one for you. So I'm gonna enable the sounds now. Let's start from the beginning. This one is actually pretty good. Now let's go for the second one. A third one. I think I like the last one the best because there's that specific detail when it's zoomed in on the face, and there's that kind of hissing sound. Really like that. There it is. So yeah, I think this one is the best one. And now you can download this by clicking here on this audio, and then you could just simply go and click here on download. If you would want to download it, you can click here. And now you can go for video right here, video format, or if you do want the audio only, then you can go for MP3 or WAV file, depending on which one you'd want. And you could go for without watermark if you have the VIP subscription. So that's it. Alright, so now let's discuss the pricing plan. So first of all is that you want to click here on your plan on the left menu at the bottom. As you can see right here, when you click on that, you will now be prompted in here, and you can see the subscription that you're currently in, and then the credits that you have. And you also have the gift card option. You can click here on redeem and then input the code so that you'd be able to redeem the rewards for your gift card. Also, you can go here into the credit section right here, and then you would be able to purchase your credits in here. Take note that Kling uses a credit system. You buy credits, then spend them on generating images, videos, or audio. Different outputs consume different amounts of credits depending on the resolution, duration, and whether audio is included. So make sure that you have enough credits for you to spend on all of your work. So this is where you can refill them if ever you have run out of credits. Also, you can click here on details, by the way, and then you'd be able to see everything right here that you have spent your credits on so that you could monitor them if needed. Now going back here into the plans, let's now discuss each one of them. First is that you want to select between yearly and monthly. If you'd want to save as much as possible, up to 34%, go for the yearly plan. However, if you just want the standard pricing, go for monthly. And in here, you have this plan. So you have first the basic. So basically, this is the entry point. This is the free plan. Perfect if you're just curious about AI video and want to experiment without spending. It's limited and not commercial, but it gives you a taste of Kling's tools, and you can think of it as a sandbox for hobbyists or learners. Then we have the standard. So this is the affordable and practical plan. This plan suits creators who post regularly, maybe YouTubers, small business owners, or social media managers. You get enough credits to make consistent content, plus commercial rights, so it's a real step up from just experimenting. Then next, we have the Pro plan. This is where things get serious. With more credits and priority access, Pro is built for freelancers or small studios who need reliable, professional quality output. It balances cost and capability, making it the sweet spot for independent creators scaling their work. And then we have the Premier. So this plan is for teams. If you are an influencer agency, a marketing department, or a production crew, this plan gives you the volume and advanced tools to handle bigger campaigns. It's about efficiency and scaling without hitting limits. And then lastly, we have the highest tier, which is the Ultra plan. This is the powerhouse. Agencies, studios, or high volume creators who put out massive amount of content will find this is the most cost effective. It's not just about the credits, it's about having the freedom to produce at scale, test new features early, and stay ahead creatively. So Kling's AI plans here aren't just about credits. They are about matching the right level of creative ambition, from free exploration with the basic plan to full-scale production with Ultra. There's a tier for every type of creator. Alright, so by now you should have an idea on which plan to get. And that is basically it for this Kling video. I hope this tutorial has been very helpful to you. And don't forget to check the description for the link and some coupon codes or promos that you might find in there so that you'd be able to get the best price and deals possible here in Kling. You'd also be able to help support this channel if you use that, so thank you in advance. But yeah, only if you'd want to do it, no pressure. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.